afternoon in different parts of the country. So welcome to our session today. As Carol said, this is Liz Christofferson with Empower Consulting Group, and we're working with Practice Pay Solutions on these learning programs for you. We have a fabulous guest today, Diane Potter, founder of Springboard Designs. And Carol, why don't you go ahead and start the recording, and then I'll make the introduction and hand it off to Diane, and we'll get going.
Okay, recording has started. Go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you. So again, it's Liz Christofferson and Carol Vickers here on behalf of Practice Pay Solutions. We have a wonderful learning session for you today with Diane Potter of Springboard Designs. And I want to tell you a little bit about Diane and the program that she's going to deliver to you today. But let's get a little housekeeping done. So the first thing is a copy of the recording will be provided by Practice Pay Solutions after the session, and that usually goes out, I think, via email around 24 hours after. The other thing is that if you have a question or a comment, we're encouraging you to use the chat box, to use the question box, and as Diane goes through her presentation, we'll be letting her know what those questions and comments are so we can dig deeper into the material. We really like to have this be an interactive and engaging program, and we're very excited to have Diane here today. So she's going to share with you about how to market your small business. She's going to teach you about the rule of 32, about how to use social media to create raving fans. It is a great equalizer for customer service. She's going to share some ideas for Google and the power of video marketing to start building relationships. And she's going to talk about the content marketing. Are you showing them that you are the expert? How to have a website that works. So is it just a pretty brochure, or is it something that actually moves you to conversion and connection with your clients? And most important, as an entrepreneur and business owner, it's about creating systems, being predictable, sharing about outsourcing, and measuring results. So let me tell you a little bit about Diane and Springboard Designs, and then I'll turn it over to her and we'll get started. So Springboard Designs was founded by Diane, who was a working mom who turned a very difficult set of circumstances into a business venture in 2008. Diane Potter had just adopted a beautiful baby boy when she lost her job. Her employment prospects were slim, and her husband was still pursuing his master's license in plumbing. So she made that leap of faith that only entrepreneurs can really understand, and she gambled everything she had on a new business opportunity. Diane decided to become a virtual assistant, specializing in web design and internet marketing. And over the past 5 years, her single business has found a place among the top companies offering clients access to a broad range of services provided by a team of virtual assistants. With a management team that includes a marketing consultant, project manager, and lead web designer, Springboard Designs is positioned to serve clients consistently and efficiently. It took a commitment, faith, and a lot of hard work on Diane's part to ensure her venture could survive and thrive. And remember, she started her business at home with a baby on her hip. She built her business using a laptop and a desk her husband made for her, and at one point she was billing out nearly $250,000 a year from her little home office. So Springboard Designs is now among the top virtual assistant companies in the U.S., offering clients access to a team of highly skilled virtual assistants who can take the burden of all of those marketing and online and administrative tasks away from you business owners so that you can focus on what you do really well. So Diane, thank you so much for being with us today, and we look forward to having you share your brilliance.
Well, thank you so much, Liz. I appreciate it, and very happy to be here. We have a whole bunch to cover today, so we're not even going to mess around. We're just jumping right in. Basically, I want to tell everybody that after this is over, I've got a page for you guys to go to where you're going to be able to get almost everything in writing that I'm talking about today. So I don't want you to go crazy taking notes. If you feel like something I said spurred an idea or something that you want to remember, write that down. But if it was something that I specifically said, you're going to get a copy of my slides and a copy of the 32 marketing ideas and a copy of my traffic secrets guide at the end of this. So don't write stuff down that I say. I want you to focus more on what we're talking about. Okay, so I'm going to breeze through this part here. Let me just start this slideshow here. We're going to be flipping back and forth between Google and my PowerPoint, so bear with me because I'm not the best PowerPoint expert. But basically, Liz went through this, so we don't need to spend a lot of time on this. But I lost my job. We had a 6-month-old son. We had just built a brand new house, and my husband had just said, hey, would you mind carrying us since you're making 3 times more than me at this moment while I go and pursue my master's degree in plumbing? And I said, no. And then like 2 weeks later, I lost my job and started to panic. So I spent the last $2,500 we had, and I went to Assist You. And at the end of this virtual assistant online college, there was a registry where I could find clients that were looking for VAs, which I thought was fabulous. The bad news was they wanted skills that I did not have at all. So I was able to see what they wanted, and I spent the rest of my money basically taking classes on all of those skills. And in under 3 years, we built the largest multi-virtual assistant team in the United States. So we work with entrepreneurs who are looking to increase their online presence, primarily people like you. And I just want to jump right into the meat and potatoes. Today, we're going to talk about 3 main areas, and then I have a bonus area if we have time. I know I'm talking a little bit fast, but this will be recorded, so you can listen to it again and again with my notes. The first main point is we need to look at your website and your social media and make sure that this is ready for all the traffic that we're going to drive to it. Second is to create that great content and get that out everywhere so we can drive traffic to those places. Then we want to regularly check the signups that you're getting, any sales, analytics, appointments, all of those key performance indicators that tells us what we're doing is working. And then, as I said, a bonus module that I'm going to put together is time management. I've never met an entrepreneur that said, oh my gosh, I have so much free time that it's ridiculous. So I know that's something everyone struggles with, and I have a couple of time hacks we're going to get into today. Okay, so one of the first things I want you to do is I want you to, not right this second, but later on, I want you to get up, stand up, take 5 steps back away from your desk, and I want you to look at your website. What does your eye really take you to? What is standing out? Is that the priority that you want people to be focusing on? Oftentimes you get so involved in your own website and the perfectionist of it, you forget to really just look at it with a brand new set of eyes. So if you step back, your eyes can naturally be drawn to certain areas, and then I want you to really think, is this where I want it to be drawn to? How many calls to action are above the fold? In case you don't know what above the fold means, it means before I have to scroll down, what am I asking my readers to do? Am I asking to sign up, watch a video, book a time, join all my Facebook and Twitter and everything, or what am I asking them to do? Most websites, you're not asking them to do anything except read. Is it confusing? Do they not know what to do next? On my website, and I'm going to show you this here in just a video camera. There's other ways to do it, so don't stress out about that. Also, of course, if you don't have some sort of ethical bribe to get them to get into your free list, your email list with some sort of free gift, that's step one. We need something. And if you don't have that, and people often ask me, well, what should it be? I want you to just answer the number one frequently asked question that you get asked all the time. So it's got to be their biggest pain point. And for me, as an internet marketer, people ask me constantly, how do I get traffic to my website? So that's pretty much our free gift. What happens after that, though? Are they continuing to get a bunch of emails? Are they getting autoresponders? Does nothing happen? If they are getting autoresponders, sometimes people like to do what I call classes. They'll do like 6 ways to, fill in the blank, and then there's a series of 6 emails. That's really good. It gives you 6 reasons to touch them, and then a 7th, which is a, hey, just as a wrap-up, here's just 6 reasons again. But a lot of times people include a PDF or an attachment. That's not good. We want to drive them back to your website. So put that copy instead of in a PDF, put it on a web page, drive them back to your site. That's where you're selling your products and services. We don't want them on their computer reading a PDF. We want them on your website. And then again, does each page, do they need to book an appointment? Do they need to fill out a form? They want to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested. All right, one of the things I'm going to take you to right now is a great sign-up field. I'm not bragging, so please don't take it that way, but I'm going to just go to my website.
Feel free
and I want to show you
Diane.
something. Yeah. Do you have a question? I'll stop.
No, I said feel free to brag.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to brag, just trying to show examples. But real quickly, this is before the fold. Now, I'm logged in as me, so maybe I should log out so that it doesn't, you don't see that extra bar. And this is what my website looks like when you're not logged in. So right before the fold, before I'm scrolling, you can start to see this button down here. Of course, we see the video box. You have to make it very clear, so you do put the word play or something that's easily recognizable. And pretty much the action steps are either schedule a complimentary appointment or fill out this form. I can't tell you how many times I've been to someone's website and these forms are so tiny and almost invisible you can't see them. The button is tiny and gray and just says submit. And there's nothing that really calls out to you, hey, this is fun, this is big, something that really is going to make people feel drawn to that. So we want to look at the forms, and please don't put the word submit on your button. What are they submitting to? A friend of mine that I recently met, I heard him say, am I submitting to you? What am I doing? And so we just want to make sure that the button says something like, yes, let me read the free secret, or yes, I want to claim my gift now, or something other than just submit. And don't schedule a time, schedule a complimentary appointment, schedule a free 30 minutes, something that's going to allow people to feel like there's no obligation, there's no risk, go ahead and do it. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about what this button is here in just a second, but let me see if I can get back in here. All right. So, again, we're talking about the sign-up field and what do the buttons say. Can your content easily be shared? Many of you have probably been on a blog where you could quickly hit a button and pin it to Pinterest, tweet it, share it on Facebook. People will do that if you give them the option to. So please make sure that you add those functions to your blog posts and pages. And then have you done any SEO? Now, I know that this is a very complicated subject, so here's my 12-second crash course in SEO. First of all, with Penguin and Panda, it is no longer about following a 1, 2, 3 system where it can be very easily manipulated. Basically, what Google is trying to do now is say, the popular kid in school is the one we're going to give the most traffic to. And this way, it can't be manipulated. So people that have other people talking about them on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, people that are linking back to them, that are sharing their stuff, those sorts of things are starting to hold more weight than necessarily keyword density and backlinks in general. But you'll notice on mine that, for example, I can tell you right now, my keyword is find a virtual assistant in this article. So I have find a virtual assistant in the title. I have it in the first 50 words, and I have it scrolling in the last 50 words. You see it right here. Find a virtual assistant. Now, in one of these two, in the first one or the second one up here, we're going to either bold, italicize, underline, or hyperlink this to another page on my website. And that's basically what we do as far as what we call on-page SEO. And in my 32 tips book that you're going to get at the end of this, I go into a lot more depth about what tools we use for SEO, how much they cost, exactly how you use them. And these tools really help us do a lot more. The only thing we make sure that we do is add the keywords that we're trying to rank for in certain places within the article. And don't get too hung up on SEO, because it can be one of those things that can really consume everything that you do. And in the end of the day, it's not as important as writing for people that love your content that will then share it with their friends. Whew. Okay, part one is done. Your website. That's good, because that was the short part. All right. Before I go to creating great content, does anyone have any pictures or any questions so far, Liz? Or do you have questions, Liz?
Nobody from the audience has yet. Just a reminder that if you do, please post your question in the question box or raise your hand, and I'll be able to see that you have a question.
Awesome. All right, so this is the meatiest part of it, because I know what you're thinking as an entrepreneur when I say I need you to create great content. You're thinking that's just one more thing on my never-ending big fat to-do list, and it's overwhelming just to think of it. So I'm not going to ask you to do anything today that I don't already have a shortcut for how you can do it faster and better than you're doing it, if you're even doing it right now at all. So the first thing, before you can create any content, is you need ideas. What do I write about, or what do I make podcasts about, or whatever? So I want you to really think of yourself as like a TV news reporter for your evening news. Your job for your industry, whether that's dentist or internet marketing, or if you're a lawyer or whatever, your job is to report trends, things you're seeing in the marketplace, brand new laws that may be impacting things, and new tools for this industry, whatever it is, and also your opinions, how you do things, all of that is what your job is to report on. So one of the things that I do every day is I go to Google Reader. And we're going to talk about this screen that you're seeing here right now and what all of this is. Right now, all I'll tell you is that I use Google Chrome because it's the handiest tool that I have, and it's free. So I have a little shortcut on my desktop for Google Reader. And you'll notice that I have folders over here for my subscriptions. And I have my daily reads. I have my competitors. I have coupons, because I'm a aspiring extreme coupon lady, because I'm a mom. I have Google Alerts, market leaders, that's people that are already leading the way in my market, social media marketing, and then some other virtual assistant blogs. Yeah, what you can do, Google Reader is free. Once you get into it, you can come here. I think it's to Reader Settings. And if you go to, I think, Goodies, you can come down here to Subscribe as you surf, and this little booklet will allow you to drag it and put it right on your toolbar. And you'll see I already have something. So if I go to someone else's blog, which I'm already subscribed to his, but let's just say I'm surfing the web and I find this really cool website and I go, man, I really want to keep up on his blog. All I have to do is click the subscribe button up there. It's going to open it in my Google Reader. Now, it probably can't because I've already subscribed to it, but it's going to pull it into my Google Reader, and then what I can do is I can organize it. So this is Andy Jenkins' blog. Once you've subscribed to something, you can come up here to Feed Settings, and you can choose, or you can create a new folder if you need to, where you would like that to go. That way, every day, I don't have to remember to go read Andy Jenkins, Seth Godin, all these different people that I follow, I can simply come here to this. I can read a little bit. If I feel like it's very interesting, I can click more. It will take me to the actual blog post where I can read the entire thing. If I feel like it's not that big of a deal for me, it's not applicable, then I can just keep going. And it will mark these things as read as I go through them. So that's how I use Google Reader to kind of stay on top of things. Oftentimes, while you're reading things will come to mind where you either agree or disagree. Those are great blog posts, too, by the way. People love to read that. You can say, Seth Godin thinks that blogging is going by the wayside and it will never last. And I can go in there and say, "Phooey on Seth Godin, what does he know?" And really can kind of create some buzz that way because, if you're going up a giant like Seth Godin, people tend to get very interested in who you are and why you would do that. So just don't get too controversial because you don't want to make enemies. You want to make friends within your industry. But it's okay to, be a little controversial at times. Now, I also bring in my Google Alerts. Now, if you don't have Google Alerts, then it's also free, and you should look at it. All you have to do is go to Google Alerts. And it will tell you, it will ask you, for a search query. Now I can come here and manage the alerts that I already have in here. Or I can put in a new one. And let's just say I want to watch everything that happens on Liz Christopherson. Liz, I don't know how to spell your name. Christopherson. I think it's probably one F. Let's just pretend.
It's two F's and one. It has an H at the beginning, though. CH.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, there we go.
And it's
So let's say
S-E-N.
I want to know. Oh, I didn't get it right?
S-E-N. There you go.
There we go. All right, so I want to watch everything
I'm
that happens.
dead.
Oh, no. I'm sure you're not.
When did that happen?
I'm sure you're not.
Write a blog about it.
Yeah. So I want to know everything, and I want you to tell me as it happens, give me all results, and I want you to deliver this to my feed, create an alert. Great. Now, it should be somewhere in there. There's a ton of them. It'll be very hard to find. But basically what's going to happen is it's going to put it into my feed, and then I'm going to be able to just watch it. If I have emotional marketing strategies as a keyword I want to watch, then every single thing that comes up, whether it's on YouTube, a blog, a news story, is going to be brought into here. And again, you can read these if you want to, if it strikes something that you feel like you want to write about, make a video about, or whatever. If you don't want to follow that any longer, you can go to Manage Alerts and delete it. You should definitely be watching your own name. You should be watching your business, and you should be watching your competitors. If you're not, then really you're kind of missing out. Definitely watch your competitors. People always ask me why, if I'm paranoid. I say no, it's just because I want to know what they're doing so that I can make sure I don't fall behind the curve. I want to make sure I'm always ahead of the curve. So. Okay, so that's how I use Google Reader and Google Alerts. So that gives me topic ideas for what I'm going to write about. Then it's a matter of producing this content, okay? So if I'm wanting to not write, because I am not a writer, I don't like to write, I'm not good at it, and I feel like it's something that wastes my time, there's a couple of different ways I can produce content. One is doing interviews. Now, you don't have to do a lot. You get a virtual assistant, have your VA go on the internet and research people in a certain field that they think would be good people for you to interview. Make sure you tell them not your competitors and maybe give them a list of your competitors, and that would not be so cool. But then they'll go through, you can write the email, that way you can have control over the content, and they can go through an email on your behalf, and the email can simply be, assistant@yourdomain.com. And it's good to do something like that. That way if you have turnover in assistants, you don't have to give up the domain name or the email address. They write the email, or they put the email in there that you've already written, email the people on the list, you give them access to your Google Calendar, tell them when you have availability, they book it. You just have to show up with the questions ready to go that they provide you, and you interview them, and you have great content that way. Now, these can be podcasts, or you could also do a podcast with a friend. This is one of my favorite things because you tend to get almost like a celebrity profile, you and your partner. Then you could also together interview guests. And then if you have so many of these, could these be freebies on your site? Could they be blog posts that you have transcribed? Could they be in the autoresponders that go out after people sign up, again, leading them back to the website to go and listen to the podcast? So we're going to repurpose all of these things. Okay. I also want you to audio record, your blog post. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you. First off, what you would do once you have your ideas, let's say we go back to that same idea that we were talking about earlier that Seth Godin has said blogging is dead. So I want to make a blog post in rebut of that. So I would go and find some free mind mapping software, and you can Google that and find some really quick. And basically I'm going to mind map out all my different points. So maybe my first point would be reasons why I think blogging might be in trouble, and then reasons why I think blogging would still be alive, reasons why I think Seth Godin came to that conclusion, all of these different things. And then I'm going to verbally record all of my thoughts on each of these points. Then these are going to be turned together through a virtual assistant. They're going to be turned together into a blog post, social media updates, podcasts, and if they're long enough, or if we combine several of them together, maybe even ebooks. So here's what we do, and one of the reports you're going to get today is going to go up in great detail on how we do this. But once we post a blog on a website and we put the title in the keyword in the title, the first 50 and the last 50 words, then we go into your LinkedIn profile and we post that article in 50 groups inside LinkedIn. And those groups we've handpicked to be groups where we feel like your target market is hanging out. And we pull 9 standalone sentences that we feel like can make sense if they're read all by themselves outside of the article. And we put them in Hootsuite to post to Facebook fan page and your Twitter with a link back to your blog post. We do 3 a day for 3 days. We also, once it's on there, we go ahead and hit Google Plus so we can share it on our Google Plus network, and we Pinterest the photo. Now, there's several other things that we do behind the scenes that, again, are spelled out in complete detail in our traffic booklet that you'll get. Now, if I've already audio recorded this blog, and that's all I give my virtual assistant, and she listens to it and basically writes a synopsis of what I say, make it sound really good, like a professionally written article, the one thing she already has is the audio, because I recorded it. She takes out all the ums and ahs and makes it sound great, and she can put tip and tail music on it, so we have more of a professional sound. And she can also create PowerPoint slides for that and overlay it. So it would be just like what you're watching right now, only this is live and that wouldn't be live. But basically then you take that video. You could also use Animoto or a video sketch. Those are 2 other options. And you're going to submit the video however you make it through Traffic Geyser. Or you can also go to YouTube and upload it on a pay-per-click ad if you want to drive more traffic to your site using ads. But basically we use Traffic Geyser, and we have a certain keyword, like in the one that we saw on my website, it was find the virtual assistant that we want to rank for. And we just make sure that we put that into Traffic Geyser when we're submitting our video, and Traffic Geyser does the rest. Okay, some of you may have heard about forum posting, and the first thing you think is, I don't have time for that. That's too tedious. And I get that. It's also a big time suck because just like Facebook, once you get in there, you feel like, oh, you start looking over here, and then you read this, and before you know it, an hour has gone by. You haven't actually posted anything. You've just been kind of reading, and you kind of get sucked in. I actually do forum posting, and I don't ever set foot in a forum, virtually speaking. So my virtual assistant has 5 forums that she watches for me, and she will go through and find posts by others, whether they're questions or comments, that she thinks I could contribute to. And she'll send me a daily digest in an email. Doesn't even tell me what forums they're in, just post the comment or the question that she wants me to respond to. They're not always applicable, but she's getting better the more that we work together. And then what I will do is I will go through and audio record the answers to those comments or questions, drag and drop those audios into my Gmail, reply back to her, send her those audios. Okay? She will then take those and turn those into little videos with the PowerPoint. She'll add tip and tail, turn it into a podcast. She will turn it into a blog post by listening to my answer, fleshing it out, making it a blog post, and then she will pull 9 sentences out of it that make sense, if she can pull 9, that stand alone, and she will put those in Hootsuite so that they can go to Facebook and Twitter. Okay, and I was never in there personally. So here's my challenge to you. What if weekly you recorded one podcast show, even if you don't have a buddy to do it with, even if you don't have someone to interview? It's just you mind mapping out some talking points and talking into an audio recorder for, say, 30 minutes. And then you did the same thing with 2 blog posts, okay? And you got all this content idea between Google Alerts and your Google Reader feeds that you subscribe to, so you can stay on top of what's going on. If you did this, and your virtual assistant sent you, let's say, even 9 forum questions that made sense throughout a week, which isn't bad. So you recorded 9 forum answers, you did 2 audio blog posts, and 1 podcast radio show. This is what it turns into. 3 podcasts, 3 blog posts, 27 Facebook, Twitter, and updates, 150 posts in LinkedIn, 3 videos, 3 Pinterest, 3 Google Plus articles, 3 e-zine articles, 3 more pages of content on your website for SEO building, 9 forum answers, and possibly, if one of them was kind of timely and relevant, a press release. For a maximum, and I am really stretching it here because each one of these is only 30 minutes recording, 2.5 hours of your time. So again, I'm not asking you to do anything that is going to take up more of your time. Chances are right now, most of you on here aren't even blogging once a week. So if you're not doing that, this gives you, in the same amount of time that it would take you to write 1 blog, all of this. But I will tell you why most of you won't do this. You're afraid to give up control. Most of my entrepreneurs, especially when they begin working with me, they're so worried about what they put out there because they think it has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect. They will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars throughout a year editing a PDF so that everything looks perfect, perfect, perfect. It doesn't matter to the person whether or not that video transcribed perfectly or not. What they're worried about is the content. Yes, grammar and spelling has to be, right on, but it doesn't have to look like the best thing that's ever come down the pike, and that's what so many entrepreneurs get hung up on. And then they come back later to me and say, why did I spend so much and not have any results? And this is what I tell them. You're too worried about being perfect. Okay, the third part, good, we're right on track. We have 2 more parts, is once we put all of that content out there, I guarantee you, you will see traffic back to your website. So we want to start checking our progress. Now, there is a piece of software called Rank Tracker that I use to check my SEO rankings for keywords. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I have it right here. Here are some keywords. Now I'm going to trust you guys. Don't go and try to rank for these keywords too. No, but here are some keywords that I have been trying to rank for a little while, not too long. I think we started this November 9th. So let's see, Best Virtual Assistant. I'm now ranked 30 on Google. Best Virtual Assistant companies. Ooh, look at that. I've kind of gone down. Find Virtual Assistant. That's going up. These 2, I'm not in the top 100. So we can try to start to track my progress. And this is just based on how many articles or blog articles have been written and posted around these keywords. So you'll see right here I'm number 8 on Google. And if you don't believe it, you can click this little box right here and say View Results in External Browser. And I want to come here and I want to hide my personal results. So anybody I'm friends with on Google+, I don't want to see their special results. I just want to see what everybody else sees. So we'll come right down here. And sure enough, springboarddesigns.com, first page. So like I said, these aren't ones that I've been trying to rank for 1,000 years. They're just ones that I've been trying to rank for since November 9th or 10th, somewhere in there. This one a little bit longer, September 21st. But it's based on how many articles I write around that keyword. It's based on the keyword density, and again, in that traffic report, I will tell you right now what we use is a piece of software called Scribe SEO that really helps us make sure that we're fully optimized for every piece of content we put on our site. And I go through and tell you how to use it in great detail, so you can get that at the end. But here, let's say if I really want to rank for Best Virtual Assistant, I've been going up, and we've only been working on this since November 9th, and I'm on page 3, the bottom of page 3, Google rank of 30. But I want to be on page 1, so I would say I'm going to write maybe 2 or 3 more blog posts, having this as my primary keyword, and I bet you in the next 60 days or so we see this come up to at least page 1, definitely page 2. All right, so we're going to come here. All right, so that's why I use Rank Tracker. It is a cost. I think it's a one-time cost that you pay under $100 so that you can put all your keywords in there. It will give you keyword suggestions, and then we'll also keep the history for you and tell you where you are in September, October, November, so you can kind of see those charts and watch your progress. Obviously, Google Analytics, it's a free service. In there are a few things I want you to make sure that you track. New visitors, returning visitors, time on site, keywords that, oh, I spelled that wrong, sorry, keywords that people are using to find your site, sources or referral sources, like did they come from LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, you need to find that out, and most popular links. And all of this information is in there, and it's free to anybody that has a free Google account. You just put a little bit of code on your website, and it starts to tell you these things within 24 hours. So what we do is we have our virtual assistants send me reports, which I think, yes, is right down here. And basically they send me the reports weekly, and I ask them to do a plus or minus change for the previous week. So this will tell me, has traffic gone up for new visitors? Has it gone down for returning visitors? Has the time on site gone up or down? Have the top 3 sources, have they changed? Have they gone up or down? And then I also have sign-ups to my newsletter, which I use Aweber, but some people use One Shopping Cart. I don't sell products, that's why. But I do have all my clients, they use One Shopping Cart, and so we'll go in and we'll run reports on that. And then, of course, my rank tracker, inside that it has the ability to run a report for me every Sunday night, and it sends it to me Monday morning in a PDF. So every Monday morning when I get to work, I can kind of see what's happened since last week, and I just kind of get a quick overview. The other thing that I just kind of skipped over was pop-up domination. Later on, if you go to my website, you will see a pop-up come up for my opt-in, and it will also give you analytics. It will tell you how many times it's been shown versus how many times someone filled out the form, which is your conversion rate. It will allow you to split test things. It's very effective, and we've seen sign-ups increase to 300%, so we do recommend for our clients to use those. So these are all analytics and checking our progress that you can do every week. Okay, Liz, any questions so far?
So, wow.
Yeah, wow.
Go ahead.
Diane, one of the participants just wanted to let you know that he had to leave. His name was JC, and he said he would send you an email after the holidays, but he was appreciative of the information so far. Just wanted to let you know he was here.
He's a friend of mine from Houston. He's super cool, yeah.
Great. So awesome. This is a tremendous amount of information. I mean, there are so many things that you're covering in such a high level of detail. That's really great. But honestly, it's a little overwhelming. Like, how do you make time to get all of this stuff done and still deal with clients and have a family? And, you know, most of us who become entrepreneurs because we want to live a certain lifestyle. So how do we do that?
Right. I think I have the answer. I work usually about 4 to 5 hours a day. I have 15 clients. I run a team of 6 people. I have a 5-year-old adopted son. We're foster parents, and we're looking to adopt again. and I have this business. We're constantly promoting it, and my husband now is a master plumber, and I help him run his business through marketing and invoicing. So it's possible. I'm going to tell you my time sheets right now, because without these, not so possible. So these are actually going to just be on the PowerPoint slides. These won't be included in any of the reports that you guys will have access to, but you will have access to the PowerPoint slides. But it's important for people to listen to this with an open mind, because oftentimes what will happen is you get so stuck doing things a certain way that when I suggest something else, your first instinct is to say, oh, no, 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 I don't want to do that. I have it okay over here. And my response to that is simply, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you'll get what you've always got. So just think about these things with an open mind. There's nothing too scary in here, but it's important because I've kind of got this mastered to a fine science. So, time management. My first thing is to use Google for email. Real quickly, I'm going to show you my Google email, and it'll kind of freak you out. I'm trusting you guys not to, like, email everybody on my list here. But here is my email. It's not too bad. You'll see right here I have 43 unread emails. Most of that's because I've been working on this presentation all day. I tend to keep an inbox of 0 about all the time. And at least every day before I leave, my emails are read. Okay? Where'd my PowerPoint go? Now I can't find my PowerPoint. Okay. The other thing that I use is Yesware for my customer retention management software. And I use templates for emails and tracking read receipts because I was an Outlook user. I was a heavy Outlook user. There were things in Outlook I absolutely loved, and it frustrated me when I first went to Google Email. So I have suddenly come around to figuring out an extension, a plugin, or some sort of cheat for every single thing I loved about Outlook so that I can have it in Google Email too. I use Boomerang for managing email. I'm going to show you how all these things work, and plus something for filters. So let's cover these 3 things: Yesware, Boomerang, and plus something. All right, what does that mean? All right, let's just say that I go to, we're going to pick on Seth again, poor Seth. And let's say that I want to sign up for his free gift, whatever it is, subscribe. Oh, free stuff. Oh, no. Okay, so we're going to enter in my email. Now, my email that I give out in business is Diane, D-I-A-N-E, at springboarddesigns.com. But because everything is pulling into my Google, I obviously have a Google email. So one of the things that I do when I'm subscribing to newsletters is I will use my Google email, and then I will do plus subscribe. And you can put plus anything. You can put plus supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It doesn't matter what you put after the plus. Just put plus something, and it will come to my Google email. Hope this works right now since I'm doing it live. Oh, it's not going to send me anything. Well, let's pretend it did. And let's pretend this was the email that it sent me, which it's not. The first thing that I would do is I would go to More, and I would go to Filter. And I would say, not necessarily from this company, but anything that comes to plus subscribe, I want you to create a filter. And I want you to skip the inbox and apply it directly to a label called, now I've set mine up already, but you can see you could set it up right here on the fly and just do a new label. And I have a folder called Consume. I don't know about you guys, but I get inundated with emails, newsletters, e-zines, check this out, whatever. If it is something that I want to follow back up on and do it, I have what I call Further Education Friday. I don't take any meetings with my clients. I just basically keep up with incoming tasks that are coming in from my clients, manage my staff. The rest of the time I consume new information from these sources, whether it was a webinar replay I wanted to watch or if it was some e-zines that I wanted to read from people that I follow or whatever. So if we go into my Consume folder right now, we'll see I have 110 unread emails, obviously from Allie Brown, my buddy Adam Homey, Sandy Krakowski, Pete Williams from Preneur, all of these different places, Fabian Fredrickson. So I go in here and I read their information on Further Education Friday, but it never actually hits my inbox so that I don't have to worry about constantly deleting it. Now, let's say, I can tell you this right here, I don't know what this is. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to filter this, filter messages like this, create a filter, skip the inbox and delete it, and also do this for 4 matching messages right now. Create a filter, it'll go directly to my delete folder. I'll never see emails from that person again, which is fine because they were trying to sell me something and I didn't know who they were. Whoops, that's an employee. Okay, so that was the plus whatever and filters. Boomerang is really cool. This is how I can make sure I never forget anything. So let's say a customer has sent me an email that says, hey, when we do my newsletter next Friday, I want to make sure that you include a where's Linda portion of it. And I go, oh, okay, great. And let's just say this is it. And I say, I want to boomerang this email. And I want it to come in either so many days, so many weeks, a month, so many hours. And I'm going to just do an hour because it's probably something I really do need to read. What will happen is that email will actually leave my inbox, and it will boomerang back in as a brand new email whenever I've told it to. That way, again, if it's not something that I need to read right now, file away into consume, filter it out as something I don't want to see again, I can just boomerang it back to myself. Now, I can also, if I'm working late and I don't want people to know, do the send later feature, which Outlook has. That way I can make sure that people don't know if I'm working at 11 o'clock at night and then start emailing me back. Since you're up, hey, can you do this on my website? No, I can't. So. Okay, and yes, where? So I send time reports to my clients. I guess I'll just go back to Compose. I have all of these, and I have different ones in here, but I have time report. Here's a time report. And I can say, Liz, we're going to pick on you again, pretend you're a client. So, dear Liz, I just want to say thank you for your continued business. You have 5 hours and 38 minutes left this month. And then I'll highlight this, yellow, and I would send this to my client every month. And all I have to do is put in here, oops, I hope nobody reads Liz's email address. Don't blow her up. Springboard Designs Weekly Time Report, subjects already filled in, everything. And all I have to do is select that from right there. The other thing is I have a couple of prospects right now that I'm working. So I have their emails on here and how much they're wanting. These are deals that I've won, deals that I've lost, which I don't need to go through all that. But that is my individual CRM that I follow up from time to time. Then I also have different emails that my copywriters have written for me. So if I find someone on LinkedIn that I think is really cool, I can grab their email and I can say, hey, I see you follow some of the top names of internet marketing, but do you have a VA? And then I can go through here, and I have several different types of emails in here that I can follow up and do several touches with them. So that's yes, where. I also use Evernote online to keep track of everything. Now, for a virtual assistant, I have to keep track of all of my client stuff. So I have a folder for every single client that I have over here, which we probably won't show so that my clients have some privacy. But basically, it keeps track of all of the tasks that I'm supposed to do. And what's great about this is if I'm surfing along, I can also get a Chrome extension that says Clip to Evernote. And all I have to do is click this little button, and it's going to save everything into my Evernote so that I can review that on Further Education Friday. Okay, now, clearly, secure password generator, pass tag, Teambox. How to keep track of all these tasks? I will tell you, me personally, we use Teambox. That's because there is, I think this is actually a real task that I'm supposed to do. So I come here and I go save this as a Teambox task, attach the original email, assign this to my client, and give it to, let's say, Tia, and I want it due tomorrow, and create that task. And right there, I've created the task. So that way I can easily assign things out. And you can do this too if your virtual assistant uses Teambox, or if they don't have anything, then you can start a Teambox account and you can start to easily assign stuff that comes in. And you can even send emails to yourself and then assign those out quickly as Teambox tasks. Let's see here. Clearly, I use this when I'm reading blogs. So let's say that I want to go back and I want to read one of Seth's blogs. What bothers me about blog reading is all the other stuff around it, because it makes it hard for me to focus on what I'm doing. So I have this little extension called Clearly that I click. And that's the beauty of a live webinar. Okay, here it goes. It's basically going to just take everything off the page and just give me the text. Now, the other thing that I do is I'm teaching myself how to speed read. So what I will do is I will, oh, these are several blogs, I'm sorry. This is just one. Isn't working stuff. Let's just say this one. I'm going to come down here, copy it, and then I'm going to click Spreed. And this is going to help me consume my content that much faster. And paste in. Now I have my settings set usually to 3 and to 250 words a minute, so I'm not that good yet. And then you'll see this. Anyway, you don't have to watch the whole thing, but the point is that it helps me speed read so that when I am consuming those content from Google Reader, Google Alert, I can get through it faster.
That's something for all the students out there.
I'm sorry?
I said that's something for all the students out there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Secure password generator is just, you always have to create passwords for something. If you want to create a secure password, you can come here and it would generate a password that you would just have to copy and paste. This is a real easy little bookmarklet that this way you don't get stuck using the same password again and again. And then what we do is we use a system called PassPack, which is like $20 a year, $25 a year, and you log in and you can put, I think, over 500 passwords in here. So then I just go in and create a new entry and say, hey, for Seth Godin's blog, I had to create a username and password, and here's what it was. That helps with security. The biggest thing that I do is I use Breathy and shortcuts in Gmail. So I kind of check out my email. So let's look at my email here for a second. You'll notice in here that I don't see very many of my folders, but there's a lot in here. So I have spam, trash, team box, we're looking to adopt, assist you, which I'm still a member of, coupons, invoices, possible contractors that I may want to work with in the future. All of these different fields are in here, but I don't allow myself to see them. I just allow myself to see these 3 things. That way I don't get distracted. I always keep unread email messages first. And then over here I have my Google Docs. It's just a little preview, but if I want to get to my Google Docs fast, I can click All Docs right there, and it will open up into a separate window. Of course, from here, let's say I wanted to share this with everybody, which I think I already have. Then I can come here and I can change my access to anyone with a link. It gives me the link to share right there, and it's done. I can also go into that PowerPoint, which is the PowerPoint we're looking at now, plus every single other document that I have. But that's a quick way to share things with members of your team, and you can also look at them right here. Now, from down here, you can see also that I had an appointment at 9:15 this morning. I have lunch. I have the Practice Pay Solutions webinar that we're on. I have another webinar at 4 o'clock, and then I have a Christmas party tonight at 6. So we can kind of see my Google Calendar at a glance. If I scroll down, I can add something to it very quickly if I wanted to. So I don't actually have to leave unless I want to, and then I can come here and I can click Open Calendar. And again, it will open my calendar. So I've got everything right here at my fingertips. I chat with my teams and my clients right here so that I don't have to leave here. I have my Yesware, of course, built in, my Boomerang built in. I always look at the unread email first, which I think I said already. I can easily see what attachments, what types of attachments are attached, because I have a very quick Google Chrome extension, so that if I know that Liz sent me a picture, that none of these, well, maybe this is up a JPEG, I think. And so then I can quickly look and see what types of attachments those are. That also helps me work fast. But the biggest thing is that I have shortcuts. So if you go into Settings on your Google email, you can go into Lab. And one of the things, not labels, Lab, one of the things that you can do is use custom keyboard shortcuts. So capital U means to mark something unread. Pound sign means to put something in a trash. A on my keyboard means reply all. If I want to compose with a BCC field, I put a B. If I want to compose with a CC field, I type a C. So all of these shortcuts help me blaze through my email super fast. And this is what helps me stay on top of everything. So I've tricked out my calendar or my Gmail interface. I have my docs, my calendar, my chat, my Teambox, my Yesware, my Boomerang, which I cannot spell that to save my life today. And then I also use something called Breevy. So when a client sends me a task and they say, hey, Diane, do this, I have this piece of software that I bought for like 30 bucks called Breevy. There's one called Text Expander for the Mac, where you can go in and you can say, hey, I want to assign a shortcut so that every time I type TDON, enter, it expands that and types in a bunch of other stuff. So I'm constantly typing in these things all day long. These two things especially, this has been assigned out and is in our system. We will soon begin work on this, and we'll let you know when it's complete. Thanks. Or please review and let me know if there are any further edits. If you approve them, simply reply approved. Thanks. This way I don't have to type it again and again. Client sends me an email and says, Diane, I want you to do this. I just assign it to Teambox, like you saw me do, and then I come back and I hit TASS, and boom, that expands. And then when it's done and I get an email from my contractor, I go double check that it's done correctly. Then I reply back to the client and I say, hey, task is done. So that also helps me save time as well. We talked about using Time Driver. I don't have time to go back and forth in emails and say, hey, does this work for you? Does this work for you? It doesn't work for me. I just say go book an appointment. Time Driver is a very cool feature. It's like $50 a year, and you can preset times where you know you'll be able to take an appointment and then have that on your website so clients will be able to book a time when they're on your website and take action. We talked about Spreed. I also watch video on YouTube at 2 times the speed. That's pretty easy to do, and you can still get the benefit from it. So what you would do on any video, most of them anyway, is you're going to come down here. Nope, that's not it. Oh, no, this one doesn't do it. Would you know it? The one I say doesn't. Great. And maybe it's just the HD ones, but usually they'll say like 2x, and you can watch it 2 times as fast. Anyway, that way you can make sure that you are getting through your videos faster too. So between all of these things, and Liz, to answer your question even further, as a mom and as a wife, I have all sorts of machines in my house. I have 2 iRobots. Obviously, I have a washer and a dryer. I have a dishwasher. So I always have those things running during the day. So that way I can clean up from whatever mess we had during the evening. Because when everybody's in the house and the plumber is tromping through with his big muddy boots, I don't even worry about it in the evening because I work from home. So I spend time with my family in the evening. I usually get off work about 4 o'clock so I can start like cleaning up and getting the house ready and get dinner going. We eat about 5:30, and we all hang out, watch TV, play, whatever, and get my son in bed by 8:30. My husband and I have personal time from 9 to 10, watch TV, read, whatever. And then everybody gets off, gets on the bus, and goes to work the next morning, and then I clean up from the night before. I do dishes and clean the floor with the robots and start laundry and so forth. So that's how we tend to do things in my house. So here is the URL where everybody can go and get the stuff that you guys would like that I promised you. You have the rule of 32. There's 32 marketing ideas. Some of them we've covered today, but we covered them so fast that you may feel like you're a little bit dizzy. So I really fleshed these out, and I spent a lot of time on this booklet going through very specific instructions. And then you're also going to get my Traffic Secrets book, which is on the front page of my website. So don't opt in there. Go to springboarddesigns.com/PPS. You'll get both of those plus the PowerPoint videos for this presentation. So if you have any questions, now is the time. I think we have like a minute left.
So Diane, this is Liz. I just have a quick question for you. Of all of the things that you shared with us today, and you've shared some really wonderful tips and tricks and resources and tools, and all of those items are certainly things that, as a business owner, regardless of the size of your business, they're all things that are important for you to be thinking about. Is there one thing in particular that you would suggest people get started with?
managing your email. That seems to be everybody's biggest problem, and if it's one thing I know for sure, it says if you can't keep up right now, you're never going to add anything new into your schedule. So really, the biggest thing is get control of your email. That seems to be everybody's biggest pain point. Start filtering things out within a week. If you set filters, go back through, unsubscribe to things, and resubscribe with that special Gmail, going into folders. You'll see a huge increase in your time just from that. Then you'll be able to add more things like audio recording, blog posts, setting up podcasting, that sort of thing.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so much. So again, this is Liz Christopherson and Carol Vickers on behalf of Practice Pay Solutions, and we've had a lovely presentation from Diane Potter at Springboard Designs. I encourage you, if you are actively listening to this program right now, or if you listen to the recording, go to the website, springboarddesigns.com/PPS, and you'll get a wonderful couple of downloads that will give you some additional insight into the material that Diane shared with us today. So thank you again, Diane, for sharing with us, and we appreciate your brilliance and all of the wonderful tips and resources that you provided for us. And thank you to the audience for participating. Go out and make it a great day, and we look forward to visiting with you on our next session.
Thanks, Liz. Thank you, Diane. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.